Hi students, welcome back. Coming to the next topic in Java programming language is the static keyword. So this is one of the important keyword that you need to understand. We already discussed while we are working on the class variables. Okay. So now let's see in detail what is the use of this static keyword. If you use these variable, so what type of permissions are there to access the variables that are present in the class? Okay. Now, a static keyword actually what we this static keyword is called as modifier. We used to call as a modifier. Why we are calling it as a modifier? Because what it is doing, it modifies the behavior of variables, methods, class and blocks. So wherever you have mentioned the keyword that is a static, okay, before the variables and before the methods, before the class and before the blocks, okay, that it is going to modify the behavior of that complete variable. So it is different, instant variable and the class variable. In the instance variable, you no need to mention it as an instance. But for if you are writing as if you want to mention it as a class variable or a class method, so whatever it may be. So for a variables and a method, if you mention it as static, then it is going to modify the behavior of that variable. So how it is going to modify it? What is that behavior? So now let's see. By using static keyword, we can create class variables. We can create a class variables, class methods, nested top level methods, nested top level classes and static initialization blocks. Static initialization blocks. So remember these points. So if you use a static keyword, wherever in before if you use a static keyword, we can create a class variables we can create. Okay, a static class variables we can create. So class methods, whenever you mentioned as a static, then it is nothing but a class method. So whenever you have mentioned as static before a variable, then it is a class variable. And you also created the nested top level classes and static initialization blocks also. So the nested top level classes, what it means is one type of inner classes. It's nothing but one type of inner classes. Don't get confused whenever seen these type of words. Nested top level classes means it's one type of inner classes. So what is a class variable? I already explained. Just recall that concept. Class variable. Okay, so class variable means here what suppose this is a class, sample is my class name. Okay, so if I mention static int some x is equal to 10 and series of statements, okay, this you call it as a class variable. Class variable. Suppose if you didn't mention static, then int x is equal to 10 is what type of variable? It is an instance variable. You call it as an instance variable. But if you mention a static, then you call it as a class variable. So this is a class variable. Then what about the class method? How to declare the class method? Class method. So the class method means a method that is defined as a static member of class. Static member of class. Member of class. Okay. So static variable I already explained. So it's just simply adding a static before an a value that is initialized. Okay. So then you call it as a class variable. So if a method that is defined as a static member of a class, then you call it as a class method. Actually, there are four ways. There are four ways to access methods. So if you want to access the class methods, there are 4 ways to access those methods. One is directly. Second one is by using class name. By using class name. And the third one is by using object. By using object. And the fourth one is by using an object reference. By using an object reference. So by using these 4 ways, you can access the class methods. So the first 2, whatever it is there, so these we can recommend it, and the 3, 4 is not recommended to use because it occupies a lot of space. By using an object and by using an object reference, it occupies space. So better to use, you can access the classes directly or by using class name. So let me explain you this class method with an example. Let's see an example. So class sample is my class name. C is a small letter here. Static void display. This is my class method. By seeing itself, I can tell it is a class method. How can you tell it is a class method? Because static is there. A method that is declared with a static, then you call it as a class method. So system dot out dot println. So all about CSIT. Okay. Now public static void main string args. Okay. So here I'm calling a 4 methods by using, I'm accessing the class method. This is my class method. I'm accessing this class method by using 4 methods. That is display by using direct. So this is direct accessing. A display is directly accessing. And next by using an object reference. Simple dot display. Sorry, by using an object. This is directly. This is by using object. Simple dot display is just simply by using the class name. I'm sorry. So this is, I'm accessing directly. A class method can be accessed directly. So this method I'm accessing directly. So this is valid. And this is by using a class name. Sample is my class name and the display is a method. So I'm accessing this by using class name. By using class name. Okay. So directly you can access, or you can access by using a class name. So next is by using an object. Object means first create an by using an object, not reference. Object, new sample dot display. So this is by using an object. This is an object. New sample is an object, right or wrong? New sample, it's an object. So by using an object, you can access the static member of a class. And the last one is by using object reference. So object reference means first create sample. D is equal to new sample D dot display. So this is by using object reference. By using object reference. Okay. So this is the way you have to access the static member of a class. So these 2 are not recommended to use. Not recommended to use. So you can access the static member of a class directly or by using a class name. Simply by using class name you can call. So this is by object and this is by object reference. Okay. So accessing class methods directly, if it is present in same class, note on this point. This is a very important. So I am telling a simple points here. If you want to access class method means that is a void display. Whatever here I had shown you, this is a static, right? Whenever static is there, this is a class method. You call it as a class method. Okay. So access class method directly. When you're going to access directly, it means I call directly here. Display is the directly. Display is the directly. Access class method directly if it is present in same class. Remember student, if it is present in same class, you can access directly. So is it present in same class or not? So I didn't close this class. I opened the class, but I didn't close this class. Before closing this class only, I access display. See here I close the class. So within the class, you can directly call the method. The class method. Remember, the class method you can call directly if it is present in the same class. Use class name simply by using class name to access class method. If it is present in another class, if it is present in another class. Did you understand what I am saying here, students? It's a simple thing. Access class method directly if it is present in same class. Here it is present in same class, so directly I am using display. I am just simply using a display. Okay. Suppose this method is present in another class. Suppose take class demo. In class demo, I am having a static display, static void display method. Okay. And system.out.println some statement. So this is present in outside the class. If I want to access this display, then by using class name you can call like demo.display. In this class, in the class sample, you can access this display by using demo.display. Okay, this is what I'm saying. A class access class method directly if it is present in same class. Use class name when you're going to use the class name to access a class method if it is present in another class. So these two ways of accessing is very much. So did you get the clarity? When you're using directly and when you're using a class name. So here display, if you want, if it is present in same class, no need to mention. So you can directly call. Suppose the method that is present in another class. So like demo.sample. Demo.display. This is by using class name. Okay. If it is present in different class. If it is present in same class, you can access directly by calling display. Suppose if it is present in different class, so you can call by using class name. That's it. So better to use these two methods. Don't go with by using an object or by using an object reference. If the class contains, this is another important point. Suppose if the class contains instance variable, then use instance method only. Don't go for the static method. Then use instance method. Otherwise, use the class method. You will get a doubt, ma'am, when I have to use the class method, when I have to use the static, when I have to use like just simply like int x is equal to 10. This is an instance variable. So instance method means just simply static void main, not void display. Okay. This is instance method. Simply a method. Okay. So when to use an instance method and when to use a class method, you will get a doubt. Suppose if the class contains instance variable, this is an instance variable, then go with only instance method. Otherwise, use the class method. So suppose if it is mentioned like static int x is equal to 10. Suppose if they declare it as class variable. Whenever the class variable is there, then definitely you go with the class method only. Okay. Suppose if instance method is there, if the class contains, this is a class sample contains an instance variable, then use the instance method. Otherwise, use the class method. So this is what I want to clarify you. Okay. What is this instance method? I'll just show you here. Suppose the class sample int x is equal to 10. This is instance variable. So a class contains instance variable. Then use the instance method. Then use instance method. Okay. System dot out dot println. You are printing this x value. Public static void main string arguments. So here what I am doing is sample, suppose I am just calling with object reference sample d is equal to new sample d dot show. Suppose if I mention it like this, is my program will execute? Is my program will execute here? Yes, it will execute. Okay, it calls the d dot show and it will be going create. Suppose here if I use d dot x, instead of x if I use the d dot x, is my program execute? No, you will get an error. Why I will get an error? Because d is local variable. This is only up to here. This is only for main. It's a local variable in a main function. In main function method, main method. And it cannot be accessed outside the main. Remember this. And it cannot be accessed outside main. So d dot x, it's not possible to access it, right? So this is about the static keyword. So if a static is present before the method, then that is a class method. Okay, remember that. So there are different ways of accessing the by using static keyword. We can create a class variables, class methods, nested top level class, and static initialization box. I'll explain the static initialization box in the coming videos also. About the nested top levels, everything we will see in the coming videos. Okay, so this is about the static keyword. If you are having still any doubts, please let me know. Thank you.